$1 billion. That's not a house. That's not even a mansion. That is a sovereign kingdom, built by one person for one person. But here's what nobody ever asks. What's the actual difference between a $1,000 home, a $1 million home, and a $1 billion home? Is it just size? Just location? Or is it something deeper? Something that money can fundamentally change about how a human being lives? Today, we're going to find out. We're pulling back the curtain on three completely different worlds. From forgotten homes that sell for the price of a used smartphone, to the ultra-private fortresses of the world's richest people. And by the end of this video, I promise you, your entire understanding of what a home even means will never be the same. Let's start at the bottom. $1,000. In most of the world, that won't even cover a month's rent. But in certain corners of America, places like Detroit, Michigan, or Gary, Indiana, $1,000 can actually buy you an entire house. Not rent it, buy it. How is that even possible? These are cities that were once booming industrial giants. Factories lined the streets. Workers flooded in from across the country, and entire neighborhoods were built. Street after street of solid, brick homes designed to last generations. Then the factories closed. The jobs disappeared. The people left. And the houses, they stayed. Today, in Detroit alone, there are over 25,000 abandoned properties. Some have been listed for as little as $500. $1,000 is considered a premium buy. Pause. So, what do you actually get? Typically, a 2 to 3 bedroom property. Somewhere between 800 and 1,200 square feet. The structure is usually solid. These were built in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, when craftsmen took genuine pride in their work. Brick exteriors. Hardwood floors hidden under decades of neglect. But here's the reality. The roof might be compromised. The plumbing hasn't worked in years. Windows are boarded up. And in some cases, the electrical wiring has been stripped out entirely by scrappers looking for copper. The house itself costs $1,000. But making it livable? That could cost anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 more. And yet, people do it. Entire communities of artists, young families, and entrepreneurs have moved into these forgotten neighborhoods and transformed them block by block into something new. Beat. But the $1,000 home isn't just an American story. Across South Asia, across Sub-Saharan Africa, across rural Southeast Asia, $1,000 represents not a neglected property, but the entire construction budget for a family home. In parts of rural Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India, families build mud brick homes for their entire lives. Walls packed from earth and straw. Roofs made from corrugated iron sheets that thunder during monsoon rains. Floors swept smooth from bare earth. These homes have no insulation. Summers inside can reach unbearable temperatures. Winters are brutal. And yet, these are homes, full of life, full of family, children doing homework by lamplight, mothers cooking over open fires, grandparents sitting in doorways watching the world go by. A home worth $1,000 is not a lesser home. It is simply a different world. But let's add a few zeros and see what changes. From 1,000 to 1 million, 3 extra zeros on a price tag. But what do those zeros actually buy you? $1 million. In 2024, the median home price in the United States crossed $400,000 for the first time in history, which means a $1 million home is, by most global standards, already extraordinary. But where you spend that million matters enormously. In rural Montana or rural Texas, $1 million buys you an actual ranch. We're talking 50 to 100 acres of land, a 4,000 square foot main house, a guest house, stables, maybe a private lake. That is genuine, vast, sprawling space. But take that same million to Manhattan, New York. You're looking at a 600 square foot apartment, 1 bedroom, possibly no doorman, definitely no view. Location is everything at this price point. Beat. Now, let's look at what $1 million gets you in the most aspirational markets in the world. In Dubai's Palm Jumeirah, the iconic palm-shaped artificial island visible from space, $1 million buys you a sleek 2-bedroom apartment with floor-to-ceiling glass, a private balcony overlooking the Arabian Gulf, and access to one of the most recognizable addresses on the planet. Your building likely has a rooftop infinity pool, a fully equipped gym, concierge service available around the clock. In Beverly Hills, California, the zip code most associated with Hollywood wealth, $1 million is almost a starter budget. You might find a modest 3-bedroom home on a quiet street. Nothing spectacular, but the address alone carries a weight that money can't fully explain. In Singapore, one of the world's most expensive real estate markets, $1 million buys a mid-floor condominium unit in a decent district. Smart home features are standard. The building amenities rival 5-star hotels. Pause. But here's where the $1 million home starts to separate itself from everything below it. Security. At the $1,000 level, security is a door lock, maybe a neighbor who watches out for you. At the $1 million level, security becomes infrastructure, gated communities with 24-hour guards, CCTV systems covering every angle, smart locks and biometric entry. Some properties have full perimeter fencing, motion sensors, and direct lines to private security firms. Privacy becomes something you can buy. Beat. Technology also transforms at this level. The $1 million home is likely a smart home. Lights that adjust automatically based on time of day. Thermostats that learn your preferences. Refrigerators that track expiry dates. Entertainment systems that respond to voice commands. Your home becomes intelligent. Beat. And the materials. In a $1,000 home, you get what was standard 80 years ago, solid but basic. In a $1 million home, every surface is a choice. Italian marble countertops. German-engineered hardwood flooring, custom cabinetry hand-built by artisans, Wolf and Sub-Zero appliances that professional chefs would use. The bathroom alone, in a well-appointed $1 million property, might feature a freestanding soaking tub, a rain shower with body jets, heated floors, and a steam room. It is genuinely a different kind of living. Pause. But here's what the $1 million home does not have. It doesn't have staff. Not usually. It doesn't have a private gym. It has gym access. It doesn't have a home cinema. It has a large television. It doesn't have a wine cellar. It has a wine fridge. The $1 million home is impressive. It is comfortable beyond what most people will ever experience. But it is still a home. What comes next is not a home. What comes next is something else entirely. $1 billion. Not 1 million. Not 10 million. Not even 100 million. 1 billion. To understand how much that is, if you spent $1 million every single day, it would take you nearly 3 years to spend 1 billion. So what does a $1 billion home look like? What does it feel like? And more importantly, why would any single human being need it? Let's begin with the most famous private residence on Earth, Antilia, located on Altamount Road in Mumbai, India. Widely considered one of the most expensive streets in Asia, Antilia is the private home of Mukesh Ambani, chairman of Reliance Industries and one of the 10 wealthiest people alive. The building stands 27 stories tall. It has a total floor area of approximately 400,000 square feet. To put that in perspective, the average American home is around 2,000 square feet. Antilia is 200 times larger. It requires a permanent staff of 600 people just to maintain and operate. 600 people. Working every day to keep one family's home running. Pause. What's inside? 9 elevators, each serving a different section of the building. A 6-floor underground parking garage housing over 168 vehicles. 3 helicopter landing pads on the roof. A 50-seat private cinema. A ballroom. A snow room. A chamber that generates artificial snowfall for guests on demand. For floors dedicated entirely to maintenance and operations. A full medical center with ICU facilities, a temple, multiple swimming pools, hanging gardens on multiple floors, each with a completely different botanical theme. The estimated value of Antilia sits between $1 and $2 billion. Beat. But Antilia, extraordinary as it is not alone in this stratosphere. In the hills above Monaco, the wealthiest square mile on Earth, private estates change hands for $500 million to $1 billion. The land itself is so scarce, so coveted, that the price of dirt alone rivals the construction costs. Villa Leopolda, a historic estate on the French Riviera originally built for Belgian King Leopold II, sold in 2008 for $750 million. It sits on 50 acres of manicured gardens above the Mediterranean, 12 bedrooms, a full spa, a private greenhouse, a team of 50 full-time groundskeepers maintaining the gardens alone. In the Hamptons, the coastal retreat of New York's ultra-wealthy, oceanfront compounds have quietly traded for figures approaching $1 billion. Entire private beaches, multiple goose houses, private tennis facilities, equestrian centers. And then there is the One, located in Bel Air, California. The One is a 105,000 square foot mega mansion completed in 2021 after years of construction and legal battles. It sits on a ridge with 360-degree views spanning the Pacific Ocean, the Los Angeles skyline, and the surrounding mountains. It has 21 bedrooms, 42 bathrooms, a 5,000-bottle wine cellar, a full nightclub in the basement, a 400-foot private running track, a beauty salon, a bowling alley, 5 swimming pools including a 400-foot moat surrounding the property, a 4-lane bowling alley, a private IMAX theater, a fitness center larger than most commercial gyms, and a full-service catering kitchen separate from the main residential kitchen. It listed for $295 million and sold at auction for $126 million. Even at a discount, $126 million. Pause. But what truly separates the billion-dollar home from everything below, it is not the features. It is the philosophy. At this level, a home is no longer a place to live. It is a statement of sovereignty. It says, I have moved beyond the rules that govern ordinary people, beyond shared infrastructure, beyond public roads and public utilities, beyond vulnerability of any kind. The billion-dollar home has its own power generation, independent of the city grid, its own water purification systems, its own communications infrastructure, in some cases, its own private security force that rivals a small military unit. Private staff don't just maintain the house, they maintain your life. Personal chefs prepare meals from ingredients flown in from around the world. Personal assistants manage schedules down to the minute. Butlers ensure that every room you enter is perfectly prepared before you arrive. You do not plan your environment. Your environment plans itself around you. Pause. And yet, here is perhaps the most fascinating thing about the billion-dollar home. Many of the world's wealthiest people don't actually live in them. Warren Buffett, the 4th richest person in the world for much of the last 3 decades, still lives in the same 5-bedroom house in Omaha, Nebraska, that he bought in 1958 for $31,500. He's been offered hundreds of millions for it. He refuses every time. Mark Zuckerberg's primary residence in Palo Alto was, for years, a relatively modest house by tech billionaire standards. He has since built a massive compound in Hawaii, but by choice, not necessity. The research on happiness and housing is remarkably consistent. Beyond a certain threshold, studies suggest somewhere around $100,000 per year in income. Additional money has diminishing returns on day-to-day emotional well-being. A home that costs 10 times more does not make you 10 times happier. It makes you differently comfortable, but not proportionally happier. The billion-dollar home is not built for happiness. It is built for power, for legacy, for the expression of something that transcends ordinary human experience. Whether that is admirable or tragic or simply inevitable depends entirely on who you ask. So, from $1,000 to $1 billion, what is the difference? At $1,000, a home is shelter. It is protection from the elements. It is the most fundamental human need, met with the most basic of means. And in the hands of the right people, it becomes something warm and full and deeply alive. At $1 million, a home becomes a statement of arrival, of success earned and comfort claimed. It is where design meets technology, where privacy begins to feel real, and where the ordinary stresses of daily life start to feel just slightly more manageable. At $1 billion, a home transcends a concept entirely. It becomes infrastructure for a life so far removed from ordinary human experience that it requires its own category, its own language, its own logic. But here's the question I want to leave you with today, and I genuinely want to know what you think. If you could choose any level, not what you could afford, but what you would actually want, would it be the simple home, full of character and community? The $1,000,000 retreat, where comfort meets aspiration? Or the $1 billion fortress, sovereign and untouchable? Leave your answer in the comments below, because how you answer that question says something profound about what you believe a life well lived actually looks like. Thank you for watching The Sovereign Estate. If this video opened your eyes to something new, subscribe and join us next week when we go inside the 10 most expensive private islands ever sold. See you there.